Welcome back to our NCAA football win total series. We continue in the Sun Belt. Two teams left. We start with Troy. And Troy, since joining FBS in 2001, has actually been pretty good. They're an independent from '01 through '03, won 7, 4, and 6 games, joined the Sun Belt in 2004, makes a bowl game under Larry Blakeney. They make another one in '06, another one in '08, '09, and 2010. Things started going downhill though. 3 wins in 11, 5 and 12, 6 and 13, 3 and 14, and then Neal Brown takes over. 4 wins. And then finally, 2016, Neal Brown gets them back to bowl games. They go to 3 straight bowl games. He's gone. Chip Lindsey comes in. He's awful. 5 wins for 3 straight years. They bring in Jon Sumrall. 12-2 in 2022, and then last year, another solid year. They open up with a win against Stephen F. Austin. They lose at Kansas State and lose to James Madison, and then they go on a tear. They beat Western Kentucky, Georgia State, Arkansas State, at Army, at Texas State, South Alabama, at Louisiana Monroe, Louisiana, at Southern Miss, and App State to end their year. They roll off 9 straight victories before their bowl game. They play in the Birmingham Bowl. They lose to Duke 17-10, but still, this is an 11-3 team from last year, Sun Belt Conference champions. And they look to repeat again this year. One big difference, though, they'll have a new head coach. Jon Sumrall left. Is going to be Gerard Parker coming in. He was a former offensive coordinator at Notre Dame. He was also the offensive coordinator at West Virginia. He was actually the Purdue interim head coach in 2016, went 0-6 that year. We look at the team, though, and Troy does have some parts to replace. Goose Crowder is going to be the quarterback. He was the number 2 guy last year behind Gunnar Watson, threw for 3,600 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 6 picks. There's also a bunch of transfers coming in, so it's going to be a multiple quarterback race. It looks like Goose Crowder is going to get the job, but there's other options there. The receiving core, Jabari Barber's gone. Chris Lewis is back, though. He had 10 touchdowns last year. Devontae Ross is pretty good. They bring in Oregon State's Zurich Beeson. That should be pretty solid. Big thing, Kamani Vidal is gone. 1,441 yards, 14 scores last year. But they have Damian Taylor. He was a good back last year. They bring in East Carolina transfer Gerald Green. They should be pretty good there. Offensive line, also in a good situation. Daniel King's one of the best guards in the Sun Belt. They bring in a junior JUCO transfer in Zach Bowden at tackle. Zarian Hudson is going to be a guard on the left side. Pretty solid on the offensive line. On the defensive line, there's a lot to replace, though. Javon Solomon's gone. Richard Gibnor's gone. That's 16 sacks that's gone. Jamal Williams will hopefully come in and replace some of that. Raymond Cutts is going to be a starter now, being the backup last year to Solomon. They're thin at tackle. They really only have 2 guys there. There's a third that might get some playing time, but they're thin. Linebackers, pretty solid. Jordan Stringer's the best of the returning defenders. He had 68 tackles last year. He'll be an outside linebacker. Terry Thomas is also back. He'll be in the middle. Defensive backs, almost entirely transfers coming in. Jordan Perry's the highlight coming in as a safety from Kansas State. This should still be a pretty solid team. We look at their schedule. They open August 31st with Nevada. That should be a win. September 7th, they're at Memphis. Toss up the loss. September 14th at Iowa, probably a loss. And then September 21st, they have Florida A&M, a win before opening the conference schedule. ULM on the 28th, October 3rd, Texas State, probably both wins before a bye. They have the short week at South Alabama on October 15th, most likely a win. Then essentially a mini bye to October 26th with Arkansas State, probably a win. November 2nd, they host Coastal Carolina, toss up there, but then they have a bye. Then they're at Georgia Southern, at Louisiana, and Southern Miss. They could easily end the season with 3 straight wins. When I look at this team, I see 8 to 9 wins overall. 7's kind of the floor, maybe 6 if it's a real struggle with the quarterback situation. I think 7's the floor. Over under most places is 6.5 with the over heavily favored. But we're going to go to DraftKings. The over is at 7 and it's at plus 105. So we're going to go ahead and take the plus money, understanding we could push, but I really think 7's the floor on this team. We're going to take over 7 at plus 105. If you like this content, make sure to go back and look through the Mountain West and the MAC conferences. We have almost the entire Sun Belt done. And we'll be finishing up in our next video with the Sun Belt. Give some conference championship picks. Comment who you think is going to win the Sun Belt this year, and we'll see you next time.